Hello everyone and welcome to Driver's Therapy. Today we're going to be taking a different twist on our regular videos of DIYs and awesome car stuff. And the reason why is because I've been getting to know you guys either through messages, comments, or in person. NS Expo was really cool. I met a lot of you NSX guys and that was awesome. And I've met a lot of people around town, which is cool. And I've actually met people who I've never met in my life and they just watch the channel. So I wanted to just kind of talk about myself and essentially I'm going to be talking about my 10 greatest accomplishments and my 10 greatest failures. And the reason why is just because I want to let you guys know who I am and maybe you guys could get some motivation, some encouragement, or you guys could just relate. So without further ado, let's just dive right in. All right, now I got a piece of paper because I don't keep these like right off, ready to shoot them off to random people. I had to think about it, and but I'm gonna be using this piece of paper. All right, so here we go. First of the 1 to 10 accomplishments. All right, the first one was pretty easy for me because it comes up right away, and that's standing up for myself. I know it's very cliche, but I'm gonna get a little bit more non-cliche, and it's when I finally got in my first physical fight, full-blown fight. So without giving you too much information, because in the future I wanna give a really deep video about a very, very crazy and intimate and wild part of my life, which I'm saving towards later on until we have more subscribers and viewers. I went through some insane bullying, insane attacks. I pretty much would get beat up. It wasn't verbal abuse, it was physical abuse. And it was by all these gangs. And just to give you an idea, at one point in time in life, I got beat up so bad, I think they counted like over 40 bruises. I know it's crazy, I'm not looking for a sad story because the reason why this is one of my greatest accomplishments is for a long time, I just lived in fear. I would hide from them, run from them, skip class if I had to. I would do everything I could do to get away from them, time every second, every glance, every glare. I would just try to avoid them. And then after a couple years of just living through that, one day I just fought back. And it was the greatest accomplishment in life because I pushed myself to do that. Like I said I had enough. Inside of myself, I was like, I have to do something about it. And the crazy thing is, it's crazy how fear could just capture your whole entire life. I was always afraid of what happens if you fight back or if you get hurt or whatever. But when I fought back, it was glorious. I mean, I went out there and I remember I fought this guy and it was just, I just gave it everything I got. It was sloppy. I felt like I was just, like if you grab like a Ken doll and you just kind of move him around, that's kind of how it was, like violently. I just did everything I could imagine, but all I know is that after that, the most cliche part did happen. The guys realized that he bites back. And it was one of my greatest accomplishments because after I did that, I wasn't scared anymore. I would defend myself, stand up for myself, and that just continued to grow throughout my life. All right, my second greatest accomplishment. Now these are not in order, like, oh, this one's like the greatest and the second greatest, third. These are just ones that came up when I was writing them. So they're not in order. So my second one. So I deployed to Afghanistan, Operation Enduring Freedom in 2009 with the 101st Airborne 159th Aviation 717 AirCav. It's a mouthful and that's why I stutter because it's been a long time since I've said that. I used to be able to say it right away. But it was actually, even though if you've never deployed or been in the military, there was everything you could imagine. There was blood, there was loss, there was firefights, there was artillery, there was craziness, long nights, working for months on end, weeks on end, and every condition, every environment. But it was one of the few times in my life that I felt that I'd wake up and I had a purpose every single day. And it was just so fulfilling that it was one of the most proudest things I've done. So that's why it goes in the accomplishments. All right, third one is airborne school. Now I know a few Army guys are like, come on, man. But you know what? Airborne school is, I don't like heights. So for me to do it, and we did it in every way. We jumped off of Hercules, the C-130, night jumps, we did it all. And yeah, I was scared, but I was proud when I graduated. And to me, it's a great accomplishment. Fourth one is ultra marathon. That was here recently. I did an ultra marathon in elevation and running up and down canyons and mountains, and it was insane. If you don't know what an ultra marathon, it's past a marathon. And regular people, like at the Boston Marathon, they run in the street. I did an ultra marathon going up, again, mountains and canyons. And I think I almost did like either half of the Mount Everest of like going up and down. It was one of the hardest things I've ever done. My body was destroyed. And to be honest with you, it was 31 miles in canyons and mountains. And but I completed it. And even though I wanted to quit and I was so pissed off, I just wanted to quit so bad. And I wasn't like the fastest. I think, you know what's crazy? And I'm not afraid to admit this, guys. I was third to last of the whole group, but I didn't quit. And that's why it's a great accomplishment. Fourth one is, this one is gonna go with Elise and I, because I can't take this full credit. It's gonna be the Porsche GT4. Getting a Porsche, let me tell you, anytime you get a car in that level, the way that they're built, the way that they look, they're art. They're true luxury cars. Like it's just mind blowing. Getting that is a huge accomplishment, and we know that, and we are proud of that. And it took some time, but Elise and I, we both got that, and I'm real proud of that. Master Tech, super proud of that. That's also a recent thing. Passed those 8 tests, failed a couple of them, but went back and passed them, made some videos about them, and now they're the most popular ones on YouTube. So real proud of that. Race car driver, Elise and I, again, we got a Miata, built it up, went to Skip Barber, graduated from there, was an HPD instructor, finally got enough money to buy helmets and HON devices and everything, and then went out and raced for 2 years. It destroyed us financially, like, because it's a drug. Real racing is a drug. You know, track days are cool and all that, but let me tell you, real racing is a drug. We went from buying a truck to buying more stuff and tires. It just gets insane. And we were at the very amateur level of it, but it was still one of the greatest times. Elise and I, we did it together. She was pit crew, she was engineering crew, she was tear down and build crew, she was logistics. So it was a together thing on that one. The other one, I've already lost count. I'm gonna say, I'm gonna go with number 9, buying a house. Let me tell you, I am from the hood. Well, I grew up first not in the hood, and then I went to the hood growing up. But then lived in a lot of apartments, rented couches, rented rooms in apartments, rented little tiny closets, believe it or not. I've always been very transient, even homeless, if you could admit, not sleeping in people's couches when I was young, and kind of financially responsible in my 18, 19, 20s. And so when finally buying a house was just something really, really special. And so that's a huge accomplishment for Elise and I. And then the last thing is this channel. We're very proud of this accomplishment of building this channel because the people we've met and the encouragement we've gotten. We honestly wouldn't continue doing this if it wasn't for the encouragement and feedback we get from you guys. And that's the truth. And I give back a lot. I do. Like, I give everything I can in every capacity, and I'm finding ways how to give more. All right, guys, are you ready? We're gonna kind of change this up because it's gonna be the failures. I know the accomplishment seems a little kind of sad tempo. The failures are gonna be a little bit wild. All right, here recently, this one hurts bad. I failed the L1 Advanced ASE test 3 times. Each test cost about $150 every time you do it. And I've studied, I don't know, maybe hundreds of hours, and I've failed it by 1 or 2 points each time. And I'm gonna be scheduling here to take it again, and hopefully it's not a 4th fail time. But yeah, every time I open up my phone, because they give you those scores afterwards, it hurts bad because I've been trying really hard to pass this test, and it's super hard. So that's a big failure on my part. All right. This was in the Army, so I was almost an Olympic level runner. I didn't make it to the All-Army, which is the same thing as All-American and All-Army, like pre-Olympic stuff. Let's just say I ran 2 miles in about 11 minutes. And maybe faster. Think about that, 2 miles in 11 minutes. And that was nothing for me. It was insane. But when it came down to it, there was way faster people because the all army people then go to the Olympics and represent the military. It's crazy. But anyways, I got to try out and everything. It was a big deal for me. But anyways, I pretty much never lost a run against thousands of soldiers in the military. I was known as, they would call me the Roscoff, literally. I maxed out my PT score and nobody has ever beat me in a run. But I remember I lost one run, and it's because they got the fastest runners from like every like brigade, which is insane. And but the thing about it is we had to run, I think about 1.5 miles full sprint, but with a massive flag. I'm not talking about a tiny baby flag. I'm talking about like a 50, 60 pound flag. And I was a toothpick back then. It's probably why I could run. And I remember that I was beating everyone, but there was this guy who was in his late 40s. Everyone knew he enlisted later, but this guy looked like he was like freaking muscular. We're talking about like Superman build, you know, just muscles everywhere. And he was ahead of me probably about like 5 seconds, 10 seconds. And looking back, I know why. You know, mentally, I would say about 50% mentally, I told myself, I can't run with the flag this big. Maybe if I would have believed in myself a little more, I could have won. But at the same time, you know, you need different muscles for that flag. I'm making excuses, which is against everything I believe. But anyways, I lost, and that's a failure. The Honda S800, OMG. When we got the car, I was completely just sad and disappointed. Engine parts thrown in there, no bolts missing. It's probably one of the biggest, worst car buying things I've ever been in. You know, they always say don't buy a car from overseas. Well, it's true. The crazy part is that the seller, he's trying to help out and make amends and do right, and he's sending me parts, so I give him credit for that. But still, like, it's been sucky. It's not what I wanted. So that was a failure. All right. This is a personal one, and I failed as a friend to one of my best friends in the whole world. Essentially, we were in the Army together, and we've been there for each other through thick and thin, like real friends. Like, we would do anything for each other. But I didn't like his wife. His wife didn't like me. We believed in different values, and that's what happens. You know, like, friends usually, you know, if you don't have the same values, if you don't believe in the same things and everything, you know, either politics or family structure or anything like that, like, you know, it's not going to work out. So I didn't like his wife, to be honest with you. Like, nope. And you know, looking back, I'm a little more mature now. Maybe I should have just, you know, try to be more political and be nicer and just, you know, spend time with my friend and not focus on that side of it. But of course, at the end of the day, everyone's always going to pick their significant other over their best friends or friends. But I would say that just allowing myself to just be, you know, just like, I don't want to have anything to do with them because I'm not a fan of her, was probably not the best decision, but it is what it is. At this point, I'm just grateful for the memories I had, but live and learn, right? Okay, so I failed engineering school. That was one of my other failures. I went into Embry-Riddle to be a pilot. I got accepted in the pilot program, moved to Florida. It was going to be a pilot. And then Congress changed the GI Bill that says they don't cover the pilot program in Embry-Riddle. So then I joined their engineering school, which is top notch. And within the second year, I couldn't do the math. And I switched majors. It was really hard, but it was a failure. I bought, I bought some Volk wheels from some guy in New Jersey. You know what? If you guys are from New Jersey, I'm sure you guys are awesome. But for some reason, I don't know what's going on, but the couple times I bought something from New Jersey, I don't know, man. It hasn't been always the best thing because this guy sold me some Volk wheels and one was completely bent and destroyed. I had to send it in to get completely reconstructed and it cost a lot of money. And then the guy just completely ghosted me. And that was a big failure. And if you look back at my channel, I talked about that. Number 9, losing weight. I mean, I could say it's genes, but I love food. I love pasta. I love chocolate. I love everything, and I'm never going to stop eating it. I don't have any portion controls. I don't care. I just eat. I just love it. I work out a lot, but at the end of the day, I know that I'm failing at losing weight. And honestly, it's one of those things that, like, do I see it as a failure? I do. Do I care? Kind of don't. And then the last one is, I'm sorry, that was 8. Number 9, in college in 2012, you could do the math, I bought like 100 or 150 shares of Tesla, and it was super cheap. I mean, retarded cheap. And I sold them all like when I made like 30 bucks on them. If you know how much Tesla is, yeah, that's a couple Ferraris, I think. Anyways, and then the last one is I got into karting. I thought I went from regular racing to karting, and I thought that, yeah, I could go from club racing, SCCA club racing, and go into karting, and it'll be cheaper and easier. Karting at a competitive level was the hardest thing I've ever did in my life, and we quit after the first race. Let me tell you why. In normal racing, like club racing, amateur racing, like if you need a part, everyone's there for you. If your car breaks down, everybody's there for you. If you want a burger, everybody's there for you. If you want a beer, everybody's there for you. If you need any help, everybody's there for you. Everybody's nice. Karting, it's so competitive. If you need a tool, good luck. That's gonna help them out. If something breaks, good luck. That's gonna help your competitor out. Third, like people are flying in from around the world, like even amateur competitive karting, like they take it so serious. I've never seen anything like that. And when I raced in karting, it was the most exhausting, most taxing, physically taxing thing I've ever done motorsport wise, that we literally took a major loss on our $10,000 cart or $8,000 cart, and we sold it. And essentially by the time we were done, our engine was blown, our cart was like, had no engine, we had to sell it at a big discount, and it was just a complete hot mess. But we learned, and that was a complete failure, but and a learning lesson. All right, guys, so those are my 10 and 10, and I'm just happy to share them with you because that's just kind of been my life since now. And but as I grow older, I see that I definitely am more focused, and I see more accomplishments than failures. And I think it's because as age, you do learn, and you do learn from your mistakes, and you try to approach whatever you're doing a little smarter than you did before. Well, guys, curious to hear what you think about it. Thank you for watching. I appreciate it. As you can see, we are all decorated. It is almost Christmas. We got 23 days, almost. Well, for me, that's almost, because I've been waiting all year. All right, guys, you take care. And again, thanks for watching. We always appreciate the support, and we will talk to you soon.